Yeah, welcome back. It's still Morning Spring on Western Spring Television, and we've been having a conversation with Reverend Father Lawrence Olanio of Saint Vincent de Paul, Catholic Church right here, Ugolua Parish, Oshobo. Thank you very much, Father, for still being with us and you know engaging with us on this conversation on land. Before we went on that break, you touched on something quite interesting, and it's going to boil down to the church at this time, the church generally. You talked about the not so giant strides or steps or improvements in a person during the Lenten season and how it should be celebrated as well by you, and especially as you're working on it to keep getting better. You talked about a person who's a drunk normally, and he can drop 2 bottles per day, or, and that's, a form of improvement. But in the church today, when people, I'm talking about generally, I don't know if the Catholic Church is quite different, but let's just talk about to other Christians at this time. Some people are saying to be, not making improvements once they can be done with a particular bad habit, especially at once. This kind of stride for a person who's generally known as a drunk, dropping 2 bottles is not seen as a significant thing. I mean, he's still a drunk. How do you react to that as a religious, leader, as a person who sees, all of the examples from the Bible, how that Jesus would draw a sinner closer and all of that? That's not the case with the church today. The church seemed to be the first set of people or the group that casts the first stone, at this time. What's the message around?
Thank you very much. I think probably that is why the Catholic Church is different, and maybe that is why it takes so long to train a Catholic priest. For us, from the training we received, we don't condemn anybody. I was talking the other time that you don't condemn people. You use the language of love. You don't condemn. For us in the Catholic Church, we don't give up on anybody. Even Jesus didn't give up on Judas Iscariot until the last time he failed. Jesus didn't still give up, but he had to take his own reward. That is the thing. So for us in the Catholic Church, we don't believe that somebody is gone forever. We keep making efforts, inviting, correcting, and that is why it's not only about prayer. We involve counselors, psychologists. When we know that somebody is so wayward, we involve all those experts to help the person, because it's not about spiritual alone. You need certain experts to help to bring the person back. So we continue to make effort. For us, we don't condemn, we don't give up, we continue to make effort and also pray for the person as well. Because everything we do, one effort we make, must be backed up with prayers. So we pray and we help, we take necessary measures. There have been addicts that got converted, not only through prayer, but through the personal effort we make on them by making them to go through sessions and all of that. So we have all those in the Catholic Church. So those are the things we do.
Now, does this not pass a message of to others, more like harboring sinners as well? There are no fears of this person, smearing or casting a smear on other people who have decided to be consecrated and to live their journeys, faithfully. Especially, I hope you get my point.
No.
If you harbor someone like this, who over time has not really shown, that significant improvement, or has not shown total, improvement or change, when you're still in the process of still helping this person, what's the message that it passes to other people on the outside, especially to other Christians who have been able to attain a certain level of, purity or holiness?
Okay, thank you very much. All I know is that nobody is 100% holy. Where you have the strength, I don't have the strength. The fact that you are weak in a certain aspect doesn't make you the worst person. So as long as we prevent them from contaminating others, we don't throw them away. I still insist on that. We don't throw them away. We continue to make that effort, but we will not allow them to contaminate others, but we find a way of keeping them. So let the one who is righteous be the first to cast the first stone. That is the point. Nobody is holy. Even Jesus said that when somebody said, good master, he said, nobody is holy except God. As long as we are living in this flesh, nobody is perfect. You may enjoy grace more, that even the dirty part of my life is not shown to people. It doesn't mean that I'm holy. I'm plain 100%. So, realizing that fact, we are able to help others. If you have spiritual pride, it's not even good. That, oh, I am good, holier than thou attitude. It's not a good character. You remember the Pharisees and the other man went to the temple to pray. The one said, oh God, I pay my tithe, I do this, I do that. The other one bowed down. I am not worthy. Please help me. That one returned home, receiving mercy than the one who was proud. There are many people today who are arrogant spiritually, who have spiritual pride. It is not good. So we must be able to know that we are weak ourselves, then help others who are weaker than we are, so that they too, they can come up.
Father, I understand the angle of you saying that we preach the message of love to the sinners and all those who have bad habits and they're trying to evolve to get better and gradually getting to a point of turning around. However, I would like to ask this. Is there a point where you say a person has changed? If yes, at what point can you say someone has changed from bad to good? You know, my colleague asked the question and you said that those that are still trying to evolve, there are ways you do it that they don't get to contaminate those who have changed. Is there a point where you say, okay, this person has changed from bad to good?
Is there a point when you will say somebody is cured of one ailment or the other? Definitely there'll be a point when you will say somebody medically is free of this and that. So there are times when you try somebody consistently and you discover it doesn't fail, you know that this person has overcome this. For example, somebody who doesn't, any woman that passes, he must kick. And you worked on the person, and at a point you begin to try the person in that area, and it passes. You can say he is free, but at that point in time, it's not the case that you sleep. You still keep your eyes on the person to keep helping him so that it can be able to stabilize. Yes, because there's a difference between achieving the level and maintaining the level. So when you achieve that level, you get to that level, you must still be helped so that you can maintain that level. And that is why even in the medical world, there are some people who say they are free, but they should still be taking these medications so that they can maintain that level for long. So at a level when you discover that you have tested this person seriously and it doesn't fail, you may say, oh, it's okay, but you must still keep your eyes on the person to journey with him or her, because to fall away is not so difficult. You can easily move away. So such a person needs guide continuously.
All right, Father, let's talk about the holy pilgrimage, that some Christians observe. How do you see it? Is it really effective? I mean, is it necessary? Is it good? Does it help our faith in a certain kind of way?
Well, the general problem we have these days is that we are turning religious activities to social things. When somebody is going on holy pilgrimage, ask a person, why are you going? Is it for spiritual benefit or just for me to add JP to my name? So people go just to add JP to their names. They go, they come back, nothing will happen. But those who have that piety and are going for spiritual benefit, you will see the effect in their lives. Even our own, in this diocese, we have a pilgrimage to OK Maria. We went there. There are many people go there for various intentions. People go for spiritual journey. People go to exchange, to meet new friends. Some people go there just to watch what people are doing. So it depends on your intentions for going. People have been seeing the holy pilgrimage centers as a place of social things. So that's why you see people longing to go. When I come back, JP. So it may not be too effective because people who have the money to go to those areas, example, Jerusalem, people who have the money to go, are they going there for spiritual purpose or they are going just to a social thing? But people who will have loved to go may not have the means to go. And that is why we look at it generally, that it is not making any changes, because people will have loved to go for spiritual, for the real purpose of it. They don't have the capacities. The people who go, they just go for social aspect. So generally, it may not be making the changes that we expect.
All right, Father. Actually, this likely be my last question from my side here. I would like to understand, for the Muslim faithfuls, there is a calendar they follow for their fasting and all that. But I would like to ask, is there a way the Lenten season is calculated? We are in the period now. Is there a calculation that follows to know when the next Ash Wednesday will be next year? Or how is it calculated, and how do we get to pick the Ash Wednesday period? We know once we know the Ash Wednesday, we know when the Easter Monday will be, definitely. But how is it calculated over the years?
Okay. It depends on the Sundays we have between the birth of Jesus and the celebration of the baptism of the Lord. If the birth of Jesus falls around some days whereby the celebration of the birthday, of the baptism of the Lord goes deeper into January, we may have longer time. But if it is something that comes shorter, we have about 6 weeks from January 1. You count 6 weeks and we have it. If, for example, the baptism of the Lord extends to like 12th or 9th of January, we count 6 weeks from then. So then we have Ash Wednesday. So like this year, the baptism of the Lord comes so early. And that is why the Lenten season begins so early. And once you know you have the Ash Wednesday, you are counting 40 days of fasting. And how do we count? Because if you look at yesterday, you count from yesterday till Easter Sunday, you will have about 46 days. How do we now arrive at 40? It's because we don't fast on Sundays. When you remove 6 Sundays in between, you have 40 days of fasting. Generally for us in the Catholic world, the Sunday is a day of resurrection of the Lord. So you don't fast. It's a day of celebration. So for those 6 Sundays, we will not fast. But for other days, we fast. That is why you have 40 days between yesterday and Easter Sunday.
All right. Father, as we, because we're on the home stretch now, we're about to leave. What's your message for people, for the Catholics, for the Anglican Convention, and every other Christian who has decided to, consecrate themselves during this Lenten season? What's your message to them? To be better citizens, to be better, for themselves, for the Lord, and all of that at this time?
Well, I will advise that they must have personal resolution first of all, personal conviction that I need to change. If that personal conviction is there, then they begin to work on it. They begin to work on whatever on achieving whatever their resolution may be. And generally, this spirit of selfishness is so deep endemic in our body, in this country. I think every Christian should begin to look at that during this season of Lent, that how can I live my life for others? If we are the light of the world, light exists for others. Then we have to exist for others. If we are the salt of the earth, we are to exist for others. That must be part of what we are thinking about. How can I consider others more? That is why during this period, we learn to practice almsgiving. Every one of us, we must try to do that. Have something to give to the poor. We must fast for mortification and also to be able to have something to give to others. We must try to share this kind of extravagance kind of life so that others too may be able to have something to live on. And also we must learn to take what belongs to us alone, especially those who are at the end of affairs. They must be able to take what belongs to them and leave the rest for others. In this country, we are so blessed with natural resources, human resources and natural resources, but because of the greediness, we are so greedy that we take what belongs to people who want to make it out. During this season, let us just think of others. Take what belongs to you, leave the rest for others. If our resources are equally distributed, there won't be any reason for anybody to panic in the country. So we are appealing to everybody. Wherever we find ourselves, in offices where we are, let us do our duty, take what belongs to us, leave the rest for others, and even out of your own, learn to give to others. Thank you.
Right, that's a very powerful message to people. I hope that we'll learn and that we are better citizens for ourselves and for the nation and the world at large. Thank you so much, Reverend
Thank you.
Father
Lawrence.
Lawrence Olanio, the parish priest of Saint Vincent de Paul Catholic Church, Ugolua Oshobo, here in Osun State. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you, madam.
And we hope that the Lenten season is blessed and it blesses, Christian faithful
Amen.
all around the world.
Amen.
All right, dear viewer, this is the lens of the conversation today.
I see what you did just there. It's the lens in the letter season.
All right, so that's the lens of the conversation. And then we'll make a comeback tomorrow for the TGIF edition.
Yeah.
And that's the last installment for the week. My name is Temito Peacholola. And until the next time we see, remember, stay on the good side of the Lord. And for those who are fasting, allow them to observe their fast in peace.
Don't distract them.
Exactly.
All right, it's been a wonderful and insightful conversation with Father Olani here this morning. Let's do this again tomorrow for the TGIF. My name is Olufemi Alabi. God bless you and God bless Nigeria.